We'll call the meeting to order, please. Start with a moment of silence followed by the pledge. Thank you. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public comment, agenda items only. Seeing none, we'll move on to old business. Amend motion 2025-145 dated 5/21/2025 to change total funds deposited in the Monroe County Drug Task Force from $26,609.60 to $23,653, reflecting the difference of $2,956.60, which is the total fee charged by govdeals.com, and approve the minutes of the 5/21/2025 Commissioners meeting. Is there a motion, please? So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Proclamations and certificates. We have a proclamation. Approve the minutes? Hope so.
All in one.
I did it all in one. Is that all right?
That's perfect, yeah. I should have listened better.
Migraine and Headache Awareness Month. There's somebody here. Thank you. Dave, would you mind? Or for us? Please come up.
Yes.
Could you just tell us your name and
Samantha, I'm 2 decades suffer of chronic migraine.
Thanks for being with us today. Proclamation of the Monroe County Commissioner's Office for Migraine and Headache Awareness Month. Whereas headache disorders including migraine, cluster headache, new daily persistent headache, spinal fluid leak, facial pain disorders, and other neurological headache diseases affect more than 40 million Americans and over 1.1 billion people worldwide. And whereas headache diseases are among the leading causes of disability globally, disproportionately impacting women, veterans, and historically marginalized communities. And whereas veterans and military personnel experience higher rates of post-traumatic headaches and migraines due to traumatic brain injuries sustained in service. And whereas there is a severe shortage of headache specialists with fewer than 800 certified headache medicine specialists nationwide, creating significant barriers to care, particularly for rural and underserved communities. And whereas individuals with headache disorders are at increased risk for developing depression and suicidal ideation, underscoring the urgent need for comprehensive care and mental health support. And whereas all individuals living with headache diseases deserve equitable, timely, and affordable access to effective treatments to improve their quality of life. Now, therefore, we do hereby proclaim June 2025 as Migraine and Headache Awareness Month in Monroe County, signed by Commissioner Christie, myself, Commissioner Lavador, and our Chief Clerk, signing this 4th day of June 2025. And I present this to you. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. I know my wife suffers from a great deal of headaches, so I'm certainly aware of how that impacts her. Thank you for making us aware of how many people it affects.
2 million in Pennsylvania. So I think you
Appreciate that.
thank you. Also under proclamation certificates, Candy Berger retired from the treasurer's office. And Mr. Leonard is retiring from economic development. Mr. Leonard couldn't talk to us about this for quite a while because, you know, everything's pretty much a secret. I'd love to talk to you about it, but I can't disclose exactly who's coming in here. We have had a lot of, I know I've spent over 13, 14 years with Chuck, and we would like to present him certificate of special recognition, Charles A. Leonard, For over 30 years of dedicated service to the president of the Pocono Mountains Economic Development Corporation. Congratulations and best wishes on your retirement. Signed by the three of us. And I think we also have Bob.
Yeah. I've been truck for almost 30 years. It's a special gift from commissioners and it's also given up and show everybody.
Please.
Please.
I can't wait to see this.
Oh, no.
Trust me. Yeah. Trust me.
That's
T-shirts.
T-shirt, which I'm famed for being at a closing and being asked, are you sure? What's the guarantee this will go forward? I said, what? Trust me doesn't work anymore? My solicitor told me you need to have a gross of trust me T-shirts so that when we go to closings, I can pass them out.
Well, oftentimes Chuck will say, this is 80 jobs. I know it's going to be 80 jobs, but, or maybe 100, 150, 3,000 jobs. But thank you, Chuck. You have done us, Monroe County, well, and we appreciate your service.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the support of the county commissioners over the years. Without your help, there's at least 15 industries that wouldn't be in our community. And there's 30 miles of gas lines and sewer lines and other kind of infrastructure that without your support would not have happened, and thousands of jobs. So we thank you for your steadfastness in supporting us. And I'm sorry I'm leaving, but I'm leaving the organization with Michelle Bisbing and Rachel and Lisa. And I think that you'll be pleased going forward with what they're able to get done for the county.
They have big shoes to fill. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
New business. Oh, all in favor signify by saying aye for the proclamations, please. Aye. First and second, I'm sorry.
First.
I'll get the hang of this sooner or later. Second. Motion second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. New business, personnel. We have the personnel agenda and approve and ratify requests for additional overtime in the sheriff's department. And we have electronic financial transactions for vouchers payables, payroll, and healthcare benefits. Is there a motion, please? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Travel authorization, approve and ratify travel requests from assessment, children and youth commissioners, planning, pretrial services, and veterans affairs. Is there a motion, please? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Children and Youth Services, approve adoption assistance agreements for the following NR and DH. B, execute a service agreement with Dynamic Counseling Associates for the period of 7/1/2024 through 2024 through 06/30 of 2026 with a contract limit of $20,000 to provide counseling services. Execute the following service agreement for the period of 7/1/24 through 6/30 of 25 with Pathways Adolescent Center, Community Options Incorporated, and BCL Partners. Execute the following purchase and service agreements for the period of 7/1/25 through 6/30 of 26 for Miracle Hearts LLC, Children's Home of Easton Incorporated, and Pine Brook Family Answers. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Commissioner's Office. Ratify the budget adjustment report period 6/4/2025 totaling $33,607. First on that is the Sheriff's Department for $28,907 for a request for exterior cameras on the courthouse and maintenance for $4,700 to cover an installation of a new flagpole on this building. Approve budget adjustment report dated 6/4/2025 totaling $257,700. Of that, $252,700 is for children and youth, and $5,000 of that is an adjustment to show the decrease in loss prevention grant. We had budgeted it for $30,000 and it came in at $25,000. C, ratify submission of the 2024-2025 P Corp Loss Prevention Grant Program application totaling $27,864 to provide assorted safety items and projects to mitigate potential risks to employees and the public. D, authorize the chief clerk to advertise the following: bids for replacement of Bridge 12 and bids for the 2025 Bridge Maintenance Program. E, acknowledge the Monroe County Control Center's annual 911 Pennsylvania Emergency Management FEMA report. Approve professional service agreement with Maximus U.S. Services, Inc. for fiscal years 2024 and 2025 in the amount of $8,900 per year for cost allocation plan. G, ratify change orders EC 013 with WinGap in the amount of $71,210.51 to install access controls. H, approve the following opioid grants from the opioid settlement funds consistent with uses allowed under the opioid settlement agreement, Exhibit E. We have a Choice Recovery House for Men and Recovery Revolution, no matter what club. And I, add the following vendors to the Monroe County list of approved vendors in fiscal: TBF Property Management and Trinity Subsurface LLC. At the correctional facility, we have APB Consulting Solutions LLC. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Fiscal and grants. Approve amendment number 1 to Niver Consulting and Creative Live Contract Motion 2025-116 dated 4/16/2025 to reflect an increase of $500 for additional hours on the grant project, increasing the contract to a total of $2,000. And ratify authorization of the grants manager, Kwanzaa Smith, to electronically submit fiscal year 2025 Emergency Service Training Center Capital Grant application in the amount of $96,435.95 for the period of September 2025 through October 2026. Ratify submission of the fiscal year Intermediate Punishment Treatment Program, grant number 43995, modification in the amount of $89,999 to extend the contract period to 12/31 of 2025, and approve the CSBG subrecipient contracts for the period of 1/1/2025 through 12/31/2025 to include the third and fourth quarter allocations, quarterly payments to be made pursuant to the state agreement as follows. You'll see Shepherd's Maternity House, Family Promise of Monroe County, Monroe County Meals on Wheels, Pleasant Valley Ecumenical, Pocono Area Transitional Housing, Pocono Services for Families and Children, Resource for Human Development, Safe Monroe, Salvation Army, Housing Emergency Services, Stroud Regional Open Space. The total for Monroe County, you'll see there, and Pike County, Center for Disabilities, Developmental Disabilities, Pike County Developmental Center, and Pike County Human Services. E, approve the following service block grant, CSBG 2025 additional administration funds for subrecipient as follows. You'll see that it's Shepherd's Maternity House, Family Promise of the Poconos, Monroe County Meals on Wheels, Pleasant Valley Ecumenical, Pocono Area Transitional Housing, Center for Developmental Disabilities, and the Center for Developmental Disabilities, Mental Health and Early Intervention, and Pike County Developmental Center, totaling $8,088. Is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Office of Emergency Management. Ratify county agreement attached 3A as part of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency PEMA 2019 through 02 directive. And adopt resolution authorizing the emergency replacement and repair of the HVAC unit at the OEM Control Center. Is there a motion, please? Second, are there any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. Sheriff's Office, accept quote from AES for the installation, programming, and user training of the Avalion IP cameras in the amount of $53,907. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Capital report, ratify the capital purchase report dated 6/4/2025, totaling $1,162.98. You'll see that is for using the internal service fund for public liability for exit signs at various places throughout the county for that total of $1,162.98. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Computer capital purchases, approve the computer purchase report dated 6/4/2025, totaling $1,617.50. You'll see that is a Surface Pro 11 with a docking station for emergency management. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Miscellaneous, Mr. Parker. Karen?
Just getting back today.
Excellent.
Thank you. I must say that I did work with Chuck when I was involved with the education, the East Stroudsburg School District before I was a commissioner. And he was very helpful in moving many projects forward for us. And that was very helpful too. I think we worked together very well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Public comment. Mr. Deemer.
Were 1 and 2 voted together as a unit? Yes, thank you.
Yes, they were. Anybody else? Yes, could please state your name?
Good morning. My name is Tara Mezzanotte. I live in Knowlton, New Jersey. And I am currently the PennDOT and NJD DOT liaison for Knowlton, Hardwick, Lower Mount Bethel, Upper Mount Bethel, Portland, and most importantly, Middle Smithfield Township. Over here in Monroe County. I'm here today to in person and publicly thank you for the most recent letter. And that was that you sent to Secretary Burgum regarding the collective municipal request for support for an effort to see if we can get the Delaware Water Gap area municipalities, our local community, in what's called the Explore Act Gateway Community Pilot Program. So I'll just very quickly mention again what that is. The Explore Act was passed into law earlier this year. And within the next 12 months, 10 gateway communities will be identified. One of the provisions of the Explore Act, 10 gateway communities throughout the country. Gateway communities to our national recreational areas, where ours is the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area, but a recreational area is more than that. We also have the Appalachian Trail. We also have the Middle Delaware Wild and Scenic River. So 10 will be identified. We're trying to see if we can become one of them. So your letter was requested by Warren County, which had the lead on this, was supported by Smithfield Township, Middle Smithfield Township, Stroud Borough, and Stroudsburg Borough and Stroud Township. So thank you for that letter. And we have passed it along everywhere it needs. And it was really important to have that report, that letter for our package, because the act requires local support. This is not something that could be put upon communities. It's also important to note that everybody agrees that no condemnation or eminent domain could come out of this, and that was noted. in there, and that any funding comes from the federal government for this program. So that is the reason for all the support. I don't have a timer up there with me, so I don't know what I got left on my little, how many?
30.
30. I'm never sure.
When they play the music, you don't have to get down.
So I will just also mention that there is a request by Warren County to support getting the Delaware Water Gap area I-80 included in our MPOs, the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority's long-range transportation plan, which is in draft right now. So they just sent a request similarly asking if you would support that. You have all the same municipalities and more have over the years requested that support. So we're hopeful that you could also support that as well. So thank you for showing up over the years, every one of you, at every meeting that has occurred on the matter. So thank you for that support, and it's appreciated.
Thank you.
Has shown up in person as well, we must mention. Thank you.
Anybody else? Tulsa, you're right there.
So you can go first.
Please.
So I've stood at this microphone a few times in regards to the Community Partnership for Gun Safety Grant that was $695 plus $695 given by the state to the county. And my statement today is directed at the Kerry Group. So the Kerry Group they have a survey that was supposed to be given to the high school students. So the 4 different districts were East Stroudsburg, Pocono, and Pleasant Valley. Pleasant Valley was the only one that said they wouldn't give this survey to the high school students. So the survey is based on different studies that were done. And then with the Kerry Group is a review of gun violence reduction strategies in the United States. It's just part of what the surveys were based on. When you look up the Kerry Group, on their webpage, it says, our products, Kerry Group's publishing division offers a variety of tools and courses to help criminal and juvenile justice system and behavioral health professionals improve client outcomes. So my main concern is that the Kerry Group is biased towards changing the gun culture thinking in Monroe County into, instead of being hunting and home security and private protection, is now it's going towards people being criminalized for having a weapon, or perhaps the children should fear a weapon in the house. So now I'm going to go to the specific survey that's to be given to the high school students. There's no, out of 38 items, there's no item on here that actually tells a student that you can not answer a question and continue on. The students are given the questions, the items, there's 38 of them, on a Chromebook that actually the school owns. So that means if the school owns it, the school knows exactly who's on what Chromebook and what the answers are, even though it's supposed to be anonymous. So I'm referring to the survey given to the students. So item 9. I wish there weren't any guns in my neighborhood. So the student has the choices for I wish there weren't any guns in my neighborhood. The choices for answers are strongly agree, somewhat disagree, strongly agree. That's how most of the answers are based. So instead of saying, I wish there weren't guns in my neighborhood, and an option being because I don't want people hunting for animals, or because I feel like there's too many gangs up here, there's too many people up here that don't know what they're doing with weapons, and there's gangs, there's people that are criminals up here. Instead of having items like that on there, it's do they strongly agree or somewhat agree? The questions are so based like that, and they're not getting into why a student would actually, what the student's actually thinking about the weapon.
Thank you. Who's next? Olson?
Good morning. Dulce Ritter from Strasbourg. First of all, I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to see all those grants that you just approved to go to Salvation Army and many of the, organizations that really need it. Now, on the gun safety grant, I was under the impression, and obviously I was wrong, that Mr. Tolino was going to be here today. And is he planning a visit to the commissioners meeting soon, or?
I was expecting him, but I guess he couldn't make it today, so. But that's okay. I was at the meeting as you were, the last one that we had publicly at the junior high, so
Well, I have questions.
sure. What are
And
they?
I'd like to ask him here, but we can also do the email. I can also do it by email. We've worked very well through email before with the DA, yourselves, and everybody that's involved and some members of the community. So we can do it that way, or if you let us know when he's gonna be here. I just have a couple questions. I'm not an expert on grants. I'm just learning about grants. I'm understanding that the grants money can only be used for certain things.
Correct.
So there's quite a few questions I have just for clarification.
Well, I have the lady who helped write the grant sitting right there.
Okay. Well, this has to do with invoicing.
Okay.
So if you're
She's,
fine with that, I'll be happy to sit down
Sure.
with you. Awesome. Thank you so much. That was it. Thank you.
thank you. Next, please.
Question, do I need, okay.
Please state your name.
My name's Susan Dietrichson. I live off of Cherry Valley Road. So I have two questions. The Glenbrook Bridge has been worked on for many, many years, and maybe I missed something. It's only my second or third meeting.
Sorry.
Any idea when that's going to be finished?
We've run into a,
You're gonna start looking at your information. I work for Senator Brown. I can get your information and give you an update on what's going on.
Well, actually, I should give you my friend's. He lives on that road. It affects him every single
Yeah.
day.
it has been a problem for quite a while.
It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Yes.
Second question is, the trees that were cut down, a large number of trees that are extremely valuable in Strout Township, in that area. But my husband talked to the people who were doing it, the lumberjacks, the guys. Where does that money go? I'm just curious. It's a lot of money for those trees. I mean, they're huge.
If it's on private property,
No, Stroud Township property.
I don't know, but you could contact Stroud Township, but I would imagine if it was a timbering, that the money would go into their general fund
Mhm.
for the township.
So that's a specific Stroud Township question.
Correct. If
Okay.
the property is owned by Stroud Township,
Mhm.
they would have had to gotten a permit to harvest the timber there, and they have to go through the same rules and regulations with the conservation district and so on and so forth, for timbering.
Well, that-
Anything else?
No.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything?
My name is John Burkhart. I'm the school director in the Strasbourg Area School District, among many other things in the community. I'm here to address the commissioners on the issue of the pride flag being hung on the administration building. At the May 21st, 2025 commissioners meeting, there was an item on the agenda to approve the hanging of the American and pride flags over the garage of this building, administration building. The item was separated from the others in that section so that a vote on that single item would be taken. Mr. Parker stated, "I believe the administration is the people of Monroe County's building. We have to serve a broad range of constituents with many different beliefs, so I think we should avoid putting it on the administrative building of the county." Now, when he refers to it, I'm assuming that he was not referring to the American flag, which did not specifically state. I want to remind us that the preamble of the Constitution states, "We the people of the United States." We the people includes the LGBTQ community. It includes me. I am one of the people. As an elected official, I do recognize the need to represent the views of the constituents whom we serve. However, we are also called to be leaders and to hear and defend the voices and perspectives of all the members of the community, even those with whom we may personally disagree. I was very disappointed in that opposition. The pride flag is a symbol of hope, a reminder of the challenges overcome and the hope for a future of inclusion and belonging. In 2020, in 2020, the very first Pocono Pride Festival was scheduled, but as we all know, 2020 writ large got canceled. However, then Mayor, now State Representative Tara Probst and the Borough Council in Stroudsburg caused the borough to go ahead and hang the pride flag down Main Street and up 7th Street into Courthouse Square, despite the fact that the festival had to be canceled. I have a picture on my phone. Can't tell when it was taken, but I know when it was taken because I wandered into Stroudsburg. I grew up here. And I wandered into Stroudsburg and I sat on a bench and I cried. Like, I would not have imagined growing up out in Hamilton Township that someday in the future that I would get to witness such a thing. I cannot begin to describe the emotions that I felt. The pride flag is but just a symbol, but it is a powerful statement of the kind of community that we are and wish to become. I want to inform you that LGBTQ youth suffer from suicidal ideation and commit suicide at 4 times the rate of their peers. It is the second leading cause of death for LGBTQ youth in our country. 1.8 million LGBTQ youth seriously consider suicide or commit suicide every year. That's every 45 seconds. So in the couple of minutes that I've been spending here, 4 or 5 LGBTQ youth in our country have thought about or attempted to commit suicide. I count myself among them. When I was 20 years old in my dorm room at college, because of all of the hatred, the vitriol, being internalized in self-hatred to that level. LGBTQ youth are not inherently prone to a higher risk of suicide, but it is community factors around them. So hanging a pride flag makes a statement to our community that all of us are included and all of us belong. I wore this tie to graduation last Friday. I can't tell you how many parents, students, faculty, administrators came up to me like, glad to see you here like that today. I'm also wearing a pin that I'm a life member of the National Council of Negro Women, because inclusivity is broad. It's everybody. We are all part of this community. So it is just a piece of cloth, a flag, but what it represents to our community and to the people that live in our community is very powerful. And I will close with saying that in my experience, I go to a lot of festivals. Pride Festival this past Sunday, I would argue, is the second largest, certainly among the top largest community events here in Stroudsburg in Monroe County. Thousands and thousands of people come here, both from within our county and from New Jersey. There were people here from Delaware and Maryland, all over the place, because they felt welcome to come here and be a part of our celebration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on.
Not that bad, am I? I shouldn't have sat at the end. I'm sorry.
Just very quickly to follow up with the gun safety survey, Janet Dooner from Polk Township, and a little bit of a follow-up to what Dulce did express questions that I had actually asked Mr. Tolino in several emails and still haven't received answers to those questions. Because at the town hall, which was nicely done, I was there at the town hall, he talked about a gun violence program, which I did ask him at that
town hall, and I did follow up with an email to him to give me more information about that at the East Stroudsburg School District. And basically my message is for parents and caregivers to be on top of all things that are being asked of our children at school. Even when they get to the high school age, it's important to still have those conversations with the children that you have in the school districts, particularly in this sense where if in some of the school districts, this survey has already gone through, we always talk about parental consent. We seem to suffer across this state and this nation for understanding what it truly means to be informed and what it truly means to opt into something when you're going to do a survey. That's basically what I'm saying. It's a parent message. So please be aware of what's being asked. And I still haven't received from the several emails that I've sent to Mr. Tolino the questions that I've asked. Thank you.
I just want to point out one thing in that the East Stroudsburg survey, when it was given to the students with regard to taking this test, in the very beginning, as it states here, by beginning the survey, you acknowledge that you have read and understood the information, that you are aware of your participation in this survey is voluntary. If for any reason, at any time, you wish to stop participating, you may do so without having to give an explanation. And they again stated that the survey is confidential and nobody will know it's you. If you take about 5 to 10 minutes to finish, and if you do not have to answer all the questions, if you do not want to, nobody will know who you are. Okay? Is there anything else? What's that? Yeah. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Can I make that? May I clarify that?
Yeah, or Dave, whatever, whoever. Please.
One thing I would like to say, Chuck, the flag was flown.
Yes.
Correct. So I just want to make sure that the general public understands that. So, yep. So moved.
Dave, do you want to?
We are.
We are adjourned. Thank you.